Hello, everyone. We are three couples therapists. I am Anna Kisting. I'm in St. Peters, Missouri, and I own Cozy Chair Counseling. And I am here with my two amazing colleagues, Andrew and Catherine. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. I'm Catherine Barton. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and I own Uplift and Connect Counseling for couples.
And I'm Andrew Frager. I'm actually in Massachusetts, but I have St. Louis Family Counseling for when I was there. And in Massachusetts, I have Blue House Therapy. So,
Yay.
We are here today to talk about apologies. So we know nobody's perfect in relationships. I mean, I know I'm not perfect. You guys are amazing. I'm sure you never make mistakes, but no, I know that it's hard because sometimes we inadvertently hurt our partners and we don't mean to. And it's really important when we're apologizing that we do a few things, that we keep a few things in mind to make sure that we can actually get some repair so it can feel better. Right. I'd love to get to talk with you both about what a good apology needs to have, right? So I'm curious what your thoughts are about what do we need to have when we're really wanting to make sure that we're trying to heal the hurt that we may have caused, even if we maybe feel like we didn't do anything wrong, which is the hardest type of apology to give, I think.
yeah, and maybe part of it is like what an apology doesn't include, which is often a but, right? I had some people
Yeah.
recently who were like, "I'm sorry, but," and then everything after the but was like them justifying themselves and they
Yeah.
lost their partner completely, right? So,
Yeah.
so an apology really is about hearing the person who was hurt and not saying but not trying to give you had a reason for it. There was a reason for that need for repair for sure, but we don't want to say but.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
I-
think I think we often, the but comes, right? Because we're trying to defend ourselves, like you said, because we have a reason the way we reacted. And that's not the reason for the apology, right? The reason for the apology is to show up so the other person can feel heard, to validate that they were hurt, right? Even if that wasn't the intention, because that's what we talk about a lot, right? Is it's more about the impact than the intent, right? Because I can have great intentions and I can still hurt my partner. So, but if I can show up in a place that validates their hurt and that I can share with them, I understand that you were hurt and that makes sense, and I can try and do better next time. Right? I think that is a huge piece, is staying away from the but, not defending yourself in that space. Because maybe at a later time you could come up and say, well, maybe I'm feeling misunderstood and I'm wanting to share my perspective, but that doesn't have to be a part of the apology. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And can I notice how hard that is to try to resist that temptation to explain? But guess what? Every time we try to explain our behavior first, we lose the other person. It doesn't feel validating. We lose them. There's no repair that's going to happen. So I always think, too, there is time to explain yourself. Maybe it is something you feel like you need to kind of help your partner understand where you were coming from, too. But that cannot be the first priority. That can happen later. First priority needs to be making sure you understand what is your partner feeling. Just curiosity, right? Being curious. Why are they upset? Why are they hurting? And making sure that you understand that. I like to use with my clients my hand mirrors. So I will like lift up, I'm reflecting back at you, and here's my hand mirrors, right? And I talk about how important it is to just reflect back to your partner what you're hearing them say. It helps them feel heard, and it shows that we're understanding it ourselves, and then giving them the chance to adjust it. Like, I hear that you felt hurt when I ignored you last night and I was on my phone. Is that right? What did I get wrong? And giving them a chance to explain how they're really feeling.
Yeah, and so what you're demonstrating there is that the injuring partner is able to stay emotionally present in the situation and
Mhm.
reflect back how their partner is feeling. And then the partner
Exactly.
feels, oh, I'm not alone in this. My partner actually gets me, understands.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not alone in this. How powerful is that?
And that they
That's
care,
huge.
right? My
Yeah.
partner cares about me. My partner cares about how I'm feeling and my well being. And you know, what I'm telling myself in that space or what I'm worried about or my hurt.
And a lot of times too, I don't know what you think about this, but I know it's really hard to admit that your behavior, with all the best intentions, it's hard to admit that your behavior did hurt someone. It feels like we're acknowledging or admitting blame or and I think a lot of people have a hard time. I know the people I work with sometimes have a hard time apologizing because they seem to think that that means they're a bad partner. Like by apologizing, it's like, and I'm a horrible person or and I am a bad partner and I never get it right. There's always this like that, and that could be part of what feels so hard about apologizing. Here I am again. I messed up again. Great. And it
I
feels like
also feel like
acknowledging.
yeah,
Yeah,
at this
please.
point in the conversations, it often comes out like, well, that wasn't what I intended. That's not what I meant. So then we have this discussion about intent versus impact, right? And the
Exactly.
intent isn't always how what we intended isn't necessarily how it is always perceived by our partner. And the impact is what we need to be able to hear and acknowledge that, oh, I didn't intend this. That's fine. But we don't have to explain that. But we have to own of the impact that our words or our actions had.
Well, and I
Exactly.
think it is really vulnerable to apologize, right?
Oh yeah.
It's really vulnerable to take that ownership of I screwed up, right? I made a mistake. I hurt you, even if I didn't intend to. Obviously, most of the time I'm not intending to hurt my partner, right?
Oh, I should
And
hope so, right?
yeah,
Basic
right,
bare
exactly.
minimum.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, so it can feel really scary to take that blame, right? And to own it and to accept my role in this and that I hurt my partner when I didn't want to.
So when I think about some things, I think it'd be great to talk about things not to say. But given that we're right on this topic now, what are some good ways to respond? Like especially if you're feeling kind of resistant or if it's hard to say, I messed up. Because maybe you don't believe you, maybe you didn't mess up. I mean, everyone's behavior has a reason, right? It's not like you mess. Sometimes what I might encourage or I might say myself would be like, I'm so sorry to see you feeling so sad. And I see that my behavior caused you to feel that way. Like to just, and you're not saying I messed up. You're not saying I was wrong for doing the thing, but you can totally acknowledge the impact, like we've been talking about. So you could say, like, I hate that this caused you to feel that way. I hate that my behavior caused you to feel so sad. And I'm here right now. And I'm sorry I wasn't here with you before when I hurt you. You can acknowledge I hurt you. And we know it wasn't on purpose, but to say I acknowledge that. But what do you guys think about that?
100%. I don't know that I have much to add to that, right? Because what we're doing really is, as we talked about earlier, is not leaving the other person alone. And I think that's when the hurt really can ramp up. Is like, I'm alone in this. My partner doesn't care. No matter what I do, whatever the story is, they're feeling alone. And so that's the injury that we are trying to repair, I guess. Would you say that?
And I think to give even like some more options, because even in the moment, maybe we notice something's going wrong or that it's not going the way we're expecting it to. So it could even be in the moment, if I'm noticing something, I could say, oh, hold on, let me try that again. Or can I try and say that again in a different way? Right. So and I think too, I don't think it's ever too late for an apology. You know, because sometimes I think
Great
people are
point.
like, oh my gosh, but it's been so long. Are they still even thinking about that? But something that I just started even for myself was like, if it's something I'm still thinking about, they might still be thinking about it too. And if I want to go and apologize about it, it's not going to do any harm. You know, and there have been times where it's been years or it's been months and I've apologized and people are like, oh wow, either I forgot about that or oh yeah, that was hard. And then they're like so appreciative that I acknowledged it. You know, so I think even if you feel like it's been a few days and you're like, well, maybe it's blown by and we can just keep moving past it. I think if you're still kind of thinking about it or it still feels kind of raw or pushed down, bring it up. Say, hey, you
And
know
then
what?
what
Last week was hard and I'm sorry.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
And then
great.
what we have is we have this in our partnership, we have this beautiful repair that we've done that makes our relationship unique. We know how to do this. We are now stronger because of it. That repair that we did makes our relationship that much more unique and beautiful. And we've traversed this rocky part of our relationship, and we know how to do it, and we're stronger because of it.
Exactly. Every conflict, every need to repair is an opportunity for deeper understanding. And I really try to remember that, because we get to learn more about what hurt our partner, and we get to acknowledge it, and we get to see it and be there with them in that pain. And that's only beautiful. That's good things come from that, just like you were saying, right? So I know we're about out of time today. Is there anything else that you guys want to say about what makes a good apology, or what we need to keep in mind when we're apologizing to our partners?
Just keep practicing, take ownership, realize that intent versus impact are two different things. And the more vulnerable you can be, the better the apology and the stronger the bond becomes.
Yeah. And I would say be willing to take that risk to show up and be vulnerable and say sorry, right?
And I want to say my last piece is, we know we're talking about how it would be great if things went this way, right? Ideally, this is how we'd like things to go. We know this does not happen every day. We know that sometimes that apology is just too hard, or that anger is too big, or there's too much, or it makes it feel really impossible. But we want you, our goal here is to help you be mindful and to be aware and to just notice, right? Like, this is what's happening, and maybe I could be shifting in this direction, or be thinking about some of these
And
things.
like Catherine said, it's never too late. You can always
Never
go
too
back
late.
to apologize for something in the past as well.
Wonderful.
All
Well,
right,
thank you both
guys.
for great information. Yeah, talking about apologies.
All
Yeah.
right.
So
Good to
one
see
last
ya.
thing, we are Three Couples
Oh.
Therapist.
Yeah.
So like, subscribe, follow, check us out on Instagram. And we offer Hold Me Tight workshops. So check it out, because we're always offering more Hold Me Tight workshops throughout the year. So
Hold Me Tight workshops are for couples,
yes,
workshops, which are just amazing. And so
2-day
check out our
workshops.
website. It's in the comments and the links below.
Yes. Yay.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.